Coming up here on Mountain News this morning, high temperatures across the Commonwealth lead to EMS workers getting some extra calls. And one eastern Kentucky county might face a government shutdown due to employees not being paid.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. It's Thursday, almost 5 o'clock. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. Well, let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. And Brandon, I must admit, this morning I did not pay attention to how it felt outside. I just walked right to my car.
Here's the thing. I will say this. It was a little less humid this morning, but it still kind of just gently smacked you in the face when you walked out there. I had to leave my wipers on most of the way to work because I was not about to cut the heat on.
Yeah.
I was not about to cut the defroster
I parked next to your car this morning and your windows were foggy, or I guess condensation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't about to cut the defroster on this morning, so we came to work with the air conditioning on, but it was not. I noticed it was a touch less humid today, but that doesn't bid well for the rest of the day because we could break our 4th record in a row this afternoon. Let's take a look and see what's going on here with the satellite and radar. Not a whole lot cloud cover wise or anything else, but we zoom out a little bit. You can see up into the northern portions of the area, I guess northern portions of the screen there. You see back toward Peoria and Quincy, Illinois, Champaign, some scattered showers and storms. That's riding along a cold front that's going to be moving into our area a little bit later on. Some patchy dense fog out there, but not nearly as bad as it was yesterday. I noticed that on my drive in there. It was bad in spots, but overall not too bad. 66 Clintwood, all of our sensors back online today. We're in the 70s in a lot of areas this morning. Pikeville and Moorhead, 2 of the warmest spots in the region right now. Moorhead still almost 80 degrees. Pikeville is at 77, a lot of low to mid 70s out there. Dew Point still in the 70s, except for Wise. They're in the upper 60s, but regardless, when you get close to 70, it's pretty instant sweat out there this morning. Breakfast forecast, temperatures slowly going to go up into the upper 70s by later this morning. Again, we'll rebound a little slower in some other places, but overall, I do think we see a couple of scattered showers and storms this afternoon. Nothing too crazy, but the big system comes tomorrow, maybe as early as overnight. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you all. An eastern Kentucky community is mourning the loss of a local dentist. 72-year-old Dr. Frederick Ratliff died at Hazard ARH Saturday. He was born here in Hazard and his dentist office was in Hyden. Ratliff was the former chairman of the Leslie County Water District and chairman of the Leslie County Health Department. His funeral service will be at Maggard's Mountain View Chapel this Saturday at 1 p.m. Well, the heat we've been seeing lately can be dangerous for some. The CDC reports that nearly 700 people die every year in the U.S. from extreme heat. This could stem from dehydration and heat exhaustion, which could lead to heat stroke. Drinking enough fluid is the best way to protect yourself if you are outside.
They'll get out here cutting grass, weed eating, moving things, not realize that they need to, 1, drink water, and 2, drink a whole lot of electrolytes to keep themselves hydrated.
Well, health officials say the average person should drink between 7 to 8 glasses of water per day. Another important thing to keep in mind, never leave a child alone in a hot car. Well, here's a list of people, considered most at risk in the heat: newborns, children, the elderly, pregnant women, and those with a chronic illness should take extra care on days where the mercury climbs high. Well, these temperatures have EMS workers running on a lot of calls about patients suffering from a heat-related illness. Emergency personnel and medical workers say that certain medications can make people more susceptible to heat-related emergencies. Paramedic Robert Ball is restocking his ambulance, making sure he has enough items to cool a person off if it's needed.
The goal is to actually bring their temperature down without actually bringing it down too fast.
Paramedics say a quick way to help someone with heat-related illnesses is to grab a cold, wet towel and wrap it around their neck. While many of us escape inside to the air conditioning, many are forced to be outside for their job. Construction workers are one of the groups that have to be outside. No matter the temperatures, ones we've talked to say they're beating the heat by following the shade. They also are staying hydrated with water and eating light, nutritious foods like fruit to keep up their energy. A cooling center is open in Pulaski County. Woodstock Community Center will be open from 8 to 9 until the heat wave moves out. Officials are reminding people to stay safe, check on your friends and neighbors, and make sure your pets have fresh water and shade. Well, the Breathitt County Fiscal Court could face a shutdown if county workers are not paid. Well, the judge executive called 2 special meetings yesterday to transfer money so workers could get paid their overtime. A quorum was not met at either meetings to pass the transfer. The judge executive says if the government does shut down, it will not be a complete one.
I have to keep a couple employees at the county garage to keep weeds, try to get the weeds cut and tree falls. I mean, we got to get the roads open. So.
Well, the judge executive says 8 county workers did not get a paycheck Wednesday. Kentucky Auditor of Public Accounts Mike Harmon made a stop in Pikeville yesterday. Harmon stopped by the Pikeville Rotary Club's meeting to speak about his prior 13 years of experience in the Kentucky General Assembly before becoming auditor, as well as the work of the auditor's office, including several instances of fraud that were sniffed out by the office and offenders were charged and sentenced. He also spoke about unemployment claims yet to be adjudicated.
We talked about this year's Volume 1 of the statewide single audit of Kentucky, where we looked at still a great deal of fraud that's involved with it. There was also, as of June 30th of 2021, there were still over 120,000 unemployment claims that had not been adjudicated.
Well, we also asked Harmon about jumping into the crowded Republican primary for governor next year. He said he believes more competition in the race is actually an advantage for him. A Clark County business owner is getting a lot of support after he says people berated him for being openly gay. Mason Rodas has mostly been met with positivity at his shop, Mason on Main. While there has always been some disapproval, he says he decided to talk publicly after people entered his store, telling him that Jesus doesn't love him and that he should repent.
It's hurtful to me that I know for a fact that we have a lot of LGBT youth in this town growing up, and I want it to be a safe place for them. I don't want them to have to see and hear hate all the time.
As a Christian himself, Rodas says he also wants to draw attention to the amount of support he feels from the community, downtown business owners, and now even strangers on the internet. Well, the largest prize ever given to an LGBTQ+ writer in the United States is going to an Eastern Kentucky native. Silas House is a New York Times best-selling author and a professor at Berea College. He's been awarded a Dungus Prize for Outstanding Mid-Career Novelist. It focuses on House's work about rural people in the LGBTQ+ community. In his acceptance speech, the Laurel County native says he hopes his work makes others feel seen and heard. Well, thank you so much for getting your Thursday morning started with us. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, a new NASA rocket is ready for a crucial test in a new mission to take human beings farther into space than ever before. That's on the way next.
Where can I find that? I'll volunteer. Rain chances are in the forecast this afternoon, but they likely won't amount to much today, which means, unfortunately, our early season heat wave is likely to continue. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.